Today, we have a trivia question that connects one of the most famous German cars in history to an unexpected Allied nation. Everyone knows the Volkswagen Beetle has German origins, but after World War II, the factory was in ruins. Which Allied nation's army is credited with single-handedly saving Volkswagen and restarting Beetle production? Was it A, the American Army, B, the British Army, C, the French Army, or D, the Canadian Army? If you answered B, the British Army, you are absolutely correct. It's one of the most fascinating and little-known stories in all of automotive history. The car we know as a symbol of Germany's economic miracle was saved from the scrap heap by a British Army major and a crucial military order. This is the story of the Beetle's British savior. In the spring of 1945, World War II in Europe was over. The Volkswagen factory, located in what was then called the Stadt der KdF Wagens, was a bombed-out shell of its former self. During the war, it hadn't been building the people's car for the masses. It was a key part of the Nazi war machine, producing military vehicles and other armaments using forced labor. When American troops first occupied the factory, they found it in ruins. In June 1945, responsibility for the plant and the town was handed over to the British military government, who now controlled this zone of occupied Germany. The factory was scheduled to be dismantled. It was deemed surplus, a relic of a failed regime, and its machinery was to be scrapped or given away as war reparations. Into this chaos walked one man, Major Ivan Hurst. Hurst was a British Army officer, an engineer with the Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineers, or REME. His initial assignment was simple: go to Wolfsburg, find the factory, and sit on it. The British were using the wrecked plant as a workshop to repair their own military trucks and vehicles. But Hurst, an engineer at heart, saw something else. Amidst the rubble, he found a surviving pre-war Beetle. He had it repaired, painted it military green, and saw its potential. He wasn't looking at it as a consumer car, but as a practical, lightweight, and reliable vehicle that the occupying forces desperately needed. Hurst recognized a problem and, well, an opportunity. The British military government had a desperate need for light transport vehicles to maintain order and manage their occupation zone. He championed the Beetle as the perfect solution. So, he drove that green Beetle to his headquarters and pitched the idea to his superiors. The gamble paid off. In August 1945, the British military government placed a single monumental order: produce 20,000 Volkswagen saloons. This order was the lifeline. It was the moment Volkswagen was officially saved from being dismantled. The factory and its workforce now had a new mission, given to them by their former enemies. Now Hurst faced an impossible task. He had an order, but no roof, a damaged and starving workforce, and almost no raw materials. Still, he proved to be a brilliant improviser. He found a workforce among the local German population, giving them food and a purpose. He sourced the steel and other materials, often bartering and trading with other military units. He got the production lines cleared of rubble, hazards, and unexploded bombs, and slowly, painstakingly, got them running again. It was a slow start. By the end of 1945, they had managed to build just 55 cars. But Hurst and his German workforce persisted. By March 1946, they hit their target, producing 1,000 cars in a single month. The Volkswagen factory was back in business, all under the command of a British major. What's amazing is that even after Hurst got the factory running, the British government still didn't want it. Their plan was to hand it over to an established British car manufacturer for free. They offered it to several, including the Rootes Group. Sir William Rootes himself inspected the car in the factory. His famous and famously wrong conclusion? He said the Beetle was unattractive to the average motor car buyer and that the vehicle is not worth a damn. He predicted the company would fail within 2 years. The Rootes Group passed. Ford was also offered the company and similarly declined. No one else saw what Hurst saw, a simple, reliable car for the people. Major Ivan Hurst remained in charge of Volkswagen until 1949. He had successfully guided it from a ruin to a functioning, productive car company. He appointed Heinrich Nordhoff, a German engineer, to take over as managing director. And in 1949, the British military government handed control of Volkswagen back to Germany. Hurst's work was done. He left Germany and quietly resumed his engineering career, never boasting about his role. But the people of Wolfsburg never forgot him. Without that crucial order for 20,000 cars, and without the grit, vision, and improvisational talent of one British major, the Volkswagen Beetle would have been just a footnote in history. He didn't just save a factory, he laid the foundation for one of the largest automotive empires on Earth.